I can't sit on my father's throne yet. Our land is still in mourning.
Alester, how was your journey to King's Landing?
The situation there is worse than I imagined. It will prove difficult to stop Valar from claiming the title to Riverspring. And Gawain is dead.
Gods be good. This is upsetting news, Alester. What happened?
The Gold Cloaks found him dead amidst the victims of some bloody business.
Poor Gawain.
And the worst is, Valar is responsible for all these killings.
Valar? Can you prove it?
Yes, I retrieved the written order to kill them, signed in his own hand. But I must obtain more proof before I can openly accuse Valar. Otherwise I risk facing the Queen's wrath.
Valar cannot get away with such a crime.
One thing at a time, Harwin. I haven't finished with him yet. I have a new ally, Lord Arwood Harden of Castlewood. It was he who helped me trace Gawain.
Lord Halton? I see. He was a great friend of your father's. Did you meet him in King's Landing?
Yes, Gawain was trying to reach him before he disappeared. Lord Halton approached me after a meeting with the Queen and told me what he knew. While looking for my brother, I learned things that could change our land's fate, and perhaps more. Father was already onto it. He wrote all this down and hid the documents somewhere in Riverspring. I must find them.
Hidden documents? If I'm not mistaken, you're not the only one who has sought them.
How so?
Some weeks ago, actually, it was the day your father died. Some of Lord Raynald's bannermen and friends were in Riverspring.
Lord Garth, no need to take offense over such trifling matters. Squabbles between houses are commonplace. Believe me, with patience, things will work out by themselves. By the grace of the gods, learn to relish a king's meal when you can. I have enough problems with my son Gawain. I don't know if I should find anger or joy in his absence at the table.
My lord, come quickly!
What is it now?
Someone has forced his way into your office.
What? Entry is strictly forbidden. I hope that you have put the wretch behind bars.
Well, the man in your office is none other than your son Gawain, my lord.
Gawain? That wretch. I've had enough. That ingrate never ceases to dishonor, disappoint, and disobey me. He's gone too far. I won't tolerate any more of it. Never again.
Come now, my lord. He is your son.
Gawain means nothing to me, Harwin. I only had one son, and he's lost to me. And look at all the trouble he has given me. I should have taken care of this a long time ago. I call on all present to be my witnesses. On this day, I, Lord Raynald Sarwick, do disinherit my son, Gawain, and deprive him of all rights and privileges formerly bequeathed to him. Now I must chase him from my chambers. This latest outrage will be his last. I must take my leave now. Come with me, Harwin.
Raynald, my friend. I know we have our differences, but today I share your pain. I am saddened to hear what Gawain has done. But despite my affection for him, I must admit that you are right. If he were to become lord of your house, he would cause its downfall.
Not only mine, Arwood. The same fate would befall all of the lands that depend on Riverspring. When the rot sets in, it remains only to cut it out. It's as simple as that.
Are you certain you made the right decision, my lord?
I made the only decision that my good-for-naught son made possible. By the gods, I swear even his sister would be the better one to succeed me.
But we're talking about your last heir.
Riverspring should have been Alester. Let's get this.
Father!
Gawain, this door was locked. But that didn't stop you from going through my things, did it?
Father, I know about the Brotherhood. I only want to help you.
Seven hells, who asked you to interfere? What's at stake here is too important for you to become involved. This is enough. I stopped believing that you could replace Alester a long time ago. This ends now. I'm disinheriting you.
No! I don't know who's been putting these ideas into your head. I beg of you, Father!
Silence! If anyone has put anything in my head, it would be you. You and your inability to listen. You and your disrespect. You have brought enough trouble on this house. If you have an ounce of respect left for the Sarwick name, you will not make another scene.
Father! Listen to me!
Enough! Leave me now. I would not see you again.
Your father chased your brother from the room without any further ado, and wouldn't hear so much as an explanation from him.
And then? You were saying it happened the day my father died.
Your father went to sleep right after the incident. The poison was already in his veins by then. He never saw the sunrise.
I see. Has anyone been in this room since?
No. I locked the door after the incident, so that no one could enter it. You might also be faced with many locked doors during your investigation. Take my keys. They should all be there.
Do you think Garwin was looking for the same documents that I am?
I only know that when you spoke of these hidden documents, I immediately remembered the incident. If your father was concealing any documents, they would be in this room.
I've never seen his office in such a state. Even the shield he was so proud of no longer hangs on the wall.
Your sister was forced to sell the shield after the rioting. We needed the coin after giving the castle's supplies to the villagers, as you had ordered.
Thank you, Harwin. You may take your leave now. I can handle this alone.
Very well, my lord.
No trace of father's documents. There's nothing here. Incredible. A secret door. Looks like a complicated 7-part lock. Picking it seems impossible. Is everything well, Ryman?
I've just taken in a killer who's been spilling blood all over town. I've never seen anyone fight so well. He slit a guard's throat before I had a chance to unsheath my sword.
Let us be thankful that he's in the dungeons now. What about you, Ravella? How are you?
Very well, my lord. How can we be of service?
I need to get to my father's documents, but they're locked away somewhere. I am confident that this paper holds the key to getting to them. A riddle, a poem that my father wrote. I'm trying to find some of his documents.
That would be quite typical of Reynold. He was quite taken with riddles.
This one seems to refer to our family. This one talks about you too, Ravella. Is the throne in the castle the same one my parents married in front of?
Yes, indeed. Nonetheless, I cannot imagine where Lord Reynold could have concealed anything. If he managed to conceal something, only a keen eye would spot it.
I see. And this line, the warrior, must be referring to you, Ryman, I suppose.
For what I know or care, it may be referring to me or to anyone wearing a suit of armor. I have no time to play at this. Please excuse me.
There's nothing here. No trace of Father's documents. They must be here somewhere.
What can I do for you, Alester?
I found a secret passageway in my father's office. I haven't been able to open it yet, but I found this. I think this has something to do with it, but I don't understand how yet.
Yes, they look like clues. They seem to represent different parts of the castle. However, I doubt that he ran to different corners of the castle each time he needed to look at a specific document. Whatever you are looking for, it seems to be only a secondary solution for times of danger.
I see. There must be an easier way to open this door.
That would seem likely. However, he may have taken the secret to his grave. This poem may be the only way for you to find what you're looking for.
Then I know what I must do. Thank you. This is where my father is laid to rest. What's this? I recognize this pendant. My father wore it at all times. I always thought its 7 branches symbolized the 7. Now that I think about it, it could very well be some sort of key that opens the door I found. Well, I am doing this for the sake of the family. What was I thinking? I probably shouldn't have done that.
Master Alester, my dear friend, there you are at last.
Master Denyo? Master Denyo? I didn't think to see you here so soon.
Your idea seemed to delight Betharios. I was soon able to leave our temple on Bravos with a small group of followers.
The prospect of bringing the Lord's light to the lands of my birth fills me with as much joy as it does him. Your mission here is very difficult. The people will not easily turn away from the faith of the 7.
After many fruitless attempts to bring faith in Relore to these lands, I think we are aware of that, Alester.
That's not all. This town has suffered for a long time and its people are fragile. They're as vulnerable as they are dangerous.
Never fear. I've worked in far worse conditions before. My mission in these parts will be a glorious success.
Very well, Master Denyo. I hope everything will go well.
I think it shall, but I have not been deaf to your counsel.
Life at the temple in Bravos seems long ago now. I still look back with fondness at all those good times.
I often think back to the day we were visited by Master Mokoro of Volantis.
I shall carry the scars of his visit on my right arm for life. But certainly I would do it all again without hesitation if I had the choice.
That day, you came closer to the Lord of Light than most of us have ever been.
Do you know where to start? Knowing you as I do, you would certainly have a plan, Denyo.
You are right, Master Alester. I've an idea about how to convert the people of this town to our religion. We shall not upset or dissuade them by burning symbols of their idols just yet. For the moment, I will make do with putting up pyres every evening. They tend to win over the small folk by showing them the power of fire.
It was during such a sight that I myself discovered my path in life. I must leave you now, Master Denyo. There is still much for me to do before this town is put to rights.
May you walk in the light of the Lord.
Alester. I'm sorry to trouble you like this, but I think you ought to concern yourself with this matter.
What are you talking about, Graydon?
You heard the discussion between Lady Eliana and the other two, didn't you?
I vaguely remember overhearing some people asking for news of their father. Why would that concern me?
I'm afraid that it concerns the whole of River Spring, my lord. The 2 young ones talking to your sister were looking for their father, Lord Quen Roxton. He happens to be locked away in our dungeons at the moment.
What? You have taken a lord prisoner? Taken a lord prisoner?
Yes, on orders from your sister, my lord. And I'm afraid that it might all get out of hand. The Roxtons are a powerful family. They could do great harm to our lands if they so desired. Unfortunately, that's all I know. You'd better talk to your sister, or with the younger Roxtons. Perhaps you could even go and see their father in his cell.
I will see what I can do. Thank you, Graydon. Eliana, we need to talk.
I don't have time, Alester. I have urgent matters to attend to.
Like finding a way to deal with the problem of having a lord locked up in our dungeons, is that it? Just the difference of opinion, you say?
How did you find out?
That's of no consequence. Do you know how serious this is? Lord Roxton belongs to a powerful house. This could result in bloodshed. How did this happen?
Lord Roxton came with a handful of armed men and started attacking our people. Ryman and his men managed to overpower them and we threw him in the dungeons.
Why would he attack Riverspring?
About 2 years ago, when Riverspring was already struggling with debt, Father asked for his help. Lord Roxton had more gold dragons in his coffers than he did subjects on his estate. We hoped he would lend us some of his fortune so the people wouldn't go hungry. We would then have time to find a more permanent solution. Father asked for his help, but the swine demanded my hand in marriage in exchange. I was left with no choice but to accept.
Let me guess. There was an incident that stopped the wedding.
Well, he did pay us the purse as promised. But shortly after he learned that I was courting someone else. Kristen. A good man, but a peasant. He lived just behind the forge. I can assure you that nothing dishonorable happened between us. But when Quen Roxton saw me in his company, he found it hard to take.
How did he react?
He called off the wedding and asked us to pay back the money. But we had already spent it feeding the people. So he went back home and dwelled upon it for many years. When word of Father's death reached him, he came here with his men and started taking possessions from our townsfolk.
I see. So you locked him in the dungeons. I will deal with this, little sister. Leave it to me.
Be careful, Alester. Some of Lord Roxton's men are still around the town and they are real brutes.
Fear not. I will come and see you again when I know more. Well, I should go and see the younger Roxtons.
Yes? What do you want?
We should talk.
So, first the adulterer, now the Red Priest.
I am Alester Sarwick, and these are my lands. Therefore, your problem is of concern to me.
Ah. Forgive our ignorance, we were not aware.
No matter.
I was told there were 3 of you. So who is the last of your litter? A wildling, perhaps? Or something worse?
Calm yourself, Meredith. Forgive my sister, sir. The situation is rather a burden for us, and she takes after her father.
I heard that you were looking for your father. What makes you think he is here?
When he left our castle, he went to Riverspring. He had a few disputes to settle.
Disputes?
Yes, but disputes is a weak word.
You're the one who is weak, Edwin. Tell him how it is. The Sarwicks have well and truly cheated us.
Cheated you? How so?
Your sister was betrothed to our father a few years ago. Her hand was offered in exchange for our gold, to bolster the coffers of your dying lands.
And what happened?
Your sister turned out to be a harlot. That's what happened on the very eve of the wedding. Father found his betrothed in bed with a peasant.
That is what our father told us when he came back from Riverspring. He was furious and wanted revenge.
After the disgrace caused by your sister, the wedding was immediately called off. But the gold we gave you as a dowry was never repaid. Following Lord Reynolds' death, our father decided it was time to go in person and collect what was owed to us. Since then, he has disappeared without a trace. Your sister is at fault. She dishonored our agreement. We demand that our gold be repaid.
So that is what you're interested in. Coin.
And our father, of course.
Be quiet, Edwin. For all we know, Father might very well have fallen from his horse on his way here. But it does not change the fact that you still owe us the gold. Is that clear?
I see. There are a hell of a lot of differences between Eliana's version of events and that of the Roxtons. If Little Sister had the right of it, and there really was no adultery, then the Roxtons stopped the wedding without good reason. In that case, we are not duty-bound to pay them back. However, if Eliana was actually mistaken, I need to know what's going on. I have to find Kristen. Eliana said that he lived behind the town's forge.
Alester could be such a fool. Giving them no...
Barrels! Bobbing down the river!
Breaking over the godswood.
Move along, stranger. We're here on orders from Lord Roxton, and those orders include dealing with troublemakers harshly.
I am the only one who gives orders around here. I am Alester Sarwick. Let me through, or I will order my guards to arrest you, and you'll be sacrificed to the holy flame to pay for your insult.
Let him through.
Open the door, Kristen.
Who are you? What do you want from me?
I am Alester Sarwick, your lord. Get out here or I'll break this door down.
Alester? Brother of my sweet Eliana?
The very same.
Very well. I'm coming out.
Kill the beggar. Try not to hurt Lord Sarwick.
Nice and death. Those soldiers weren't going to stop until they had your head.
You saved my life, my lord. I don't know how to thank you.
Just explain to me what happened between you and Eliana.
Between me and... Oh, my lord. We have fallen in love. That's what has happened.
They are saying that you lay with my sister in spite of her betrothal to Lord Roxton.
Lay with her? Gods be good if only that were true. True. With respect, my lord. I only glimpsed enough of your sister's flesh to set my heart aflame. I hoped that it might happen. But that brute Quen Roxton tore into my home like a boar in heat. Lady Eliana had no choice but to return to the castle with him and try to calm him down. She told me she would come back as soon as possible. But it would seem she has been unable to do so.
I see. Well, Lord Roxton is not going to calm down anytime soon. You must come to the castle with me. If we wish to settle the matter, there is no other choice. I need you in order to prove my sister's innocence.
Ah, very well. If Lady Eliana needs me, then I will be there for her.
Let's go then. However, I believe Lord Roxton intends to make things difficult for us. He must have given orders for his men to kill you, should the opportunity arise. He has posted men at different entrances to the castle to block our way.
The main gate looks like less of a risk to me. The gate overlooking the docks seems more suited to an ambush.
Let's take the bridge. The most important thing is that you reach the castle alive. Let's go. Be on your guard if you wish to stay alive. They will target you.
I shall, my lord. For Eliana. As I was saying, thank you for helping me. I did not really know what to do.
It is not over yet.
But as soon as I am with myself.
Do you truly love her?
Oh yes. She is so beautiful, so strong. That swine Roxton thinks he can just come and call for her like a filly from his stables. But our love is stronger than anything, and there is nothing he can do about it.
It's pointless getting angry right now. If these Red Hoods start causing trouble...
For River Spring! For Ilyana! Victory, my Lord Alester!
Came back from
Victory!
with his head filled with Eastern nonsense.
Rioting, and now this.
For Ilyana! Well done, my Lord Alester. We're almost done! Thank you, my Lord Alester. I don't know what fate those brutes had in mind for me, but I'm glad I never had to find out.
I managed to find Kristen. Roxton's men tried to kill him, but I was able to get him safely to the castle.
Well, I suppose that's good news.
Kristen told me that you had made advances towards him, yet you do not seem very happy he is still alive.
Alester, I'm sorry, but I did not tell you the whole truth. The poor boy, he was the only means I found to avoid getting married. I arranged it so that Lord Roxton would find us together and see enough to assume the worst. I never imagined things would end up like this. The situation has spiraled out of my control.
So, you used poor Kristen as an unwitting pawn. In this game of politics. Well, what is done is done. We now need to settle the matter once and for all. Lady Meredith, Lord Edwin, you might be somewhat surprised by what you are about to see.
Really? Have you decided to pay back the gold you owe us?
Not exactly. Guards, bring in the prisoner.
Light, at last! Praise the Seven!
Father!
Sir Alester, what is the meaning of this?
Your father was in our dungeons. He was locked up after he and his armed men entered the town with aggressive intent and without my permission. We preferred to keep it a secret, so we had time to settle the matter from our side.
Settle the matter? What do you mean?
I have brought Kristen, whom you accuse of committing adultery with my sister.
That son of a bitch! You locked me away in your dungeons, and now this? This is one insult too many. The little roach must die, here and now.
I'm sorry, Eliana. I'm afraid that Kristen must face the consequences of his actions.
I should think so. And consider yourself lucky I ask only for his head, and not that of your sister.
This is ridiculous. If you think your pathetic attempt at blackmail has the slightest chance of working, you know nothing of our love.
Alester has the right of it. I cannot see a better solution.
What? What do you mean? Eliana, my love, are you going to let this happen?
I'm sorry, Kristen. If you were in my position, you would understand. Such matters between houses are delicate and sacrifices often need to be made.
Ha 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 ha! No! It can't be! It's impossible!
Guard! Do what must be done!
On your orders, my lady.
Eliana, have mercy, please.
Satisfied?
You don't seem very upset.
Does that disappoint you, Lady Meredith? The debt has been paid, and you chose the manor yourself.
We will not leave without our coin, Eliana.
There is as much chance of the dowry being paid back as there is of the wedding taking place.
You cannot do this!
Oh yes, we can. Lord Roxton entering my lands with armed men might be considered an act of war. That is a crime punishable by death. If you want to complain about my sister's supposed adultery to our liege lord's House Lannister, please be my guest. Given the number of witnesses I have on my side, I wouldn't give it long before your heads sit atop spikes.
You thieving swine!
That's enough, Meredith. He has the right of it. You are truly your father's son, Sir Alester, and just as despicable.
This is too much!
Don't expect me to make the same mistakes next time.
Nicely put, Alester. An act of war punishable by death, eh? That took some thinking.
I had to try something. To tell the truth, I have no idea if I spoke the truth or not. But it looks like they know no more of it than I. I thought the passageway led to a secret room, but it would seem that I'm in the castle's catacombs. This place must be hundreds of years old. This door has a strange lock. Something is engraved upon it. A Sarwic's sword is his nature, his virtue, and his honor. The latch mechanism seems to be linked to a set of notched metal wheels. There are 3 wheels arranged vertically. Words are inscribed onto each wheel. I imagine you have to line up the right word in order to unlock each one. Moreover, there's an inscription to the left of each of these wheels. I'll have a look at the first one. Some are red with blood, others are brown from rust. What color is the Sarwic's sword? His sword is black. Ice and death! The lock is stuck! Ice and death! The lock is stuck! I have to start over again. R'hllor, hear my prayers. This door has a strange lock. Something is engraved upon it. A Sarwic's sword is his nature, his virtue, and his honor. The latch mechanism seems to be linked to a set of notched metal wheels. There are 3 wheels arranged vertically. Words are inscribed onto each wheel. I imagine you have to line up the right word in order to unlock each one. Moreover, there's an inscription to the left of each of these wheels. I'll have a look at the first one. Some are red with blood, others are brown from rust. What color is the Sarwic's sword? His sword is white. I heard a click. On to the next one. An old sword for a peasant. Valerian steel for the hero. How is a Sarwic's sword described? His sword is broken. Another click. Only one to go. Warriors keep it by their side. Assassins hide it in their coat. Where does a Sarwic keep his sword? A broken white sword. That is our heraldry. The door is opening. I did it. Thank the Lord of Light. I've done it. This is probably the room where the Brotherhood used to meet. If these documents are indeed hidden in Riverspring, this is where they must be. So, here are the documents Lord Halton spoke of. The Targaryen dragon is indeed on the bottom of each page, and their contents are encrypted. Impossible to understand. I must hand them to Lord Halton, so he can tell me what they say. So, this thief has helped bring ruin to Riverspring. Lord Halton was to visit him in his manse in King's Landing. I shall go myself and make him pay for these atrocities.
Such a fool. Giving the loot. Taking over the Godswood.
Them gloating in the streets like that. It's like they've forgotten what respect means after all that rioting.
No surprise, though.
Those frauds are guests of Alester Sarwick.
Thank the man that saved you. Thank you.
I swear. You want to drown them? Believe me, I thought the same.
No idea that they've just ruined Riverspring.
Ah, Lord Sarwick. You want me to take you to Castlewood now?
Exactly. Let's get there as fast as we can.
My lord, while you were away in King's Landing...
Perfect, Alexander. You're dismissed.
Very well, my lord.
Oh, Sir Alester. It is a joy to meet you again.
I found the documents. As you said, they are encrypted and bear the Targaryen dragon.
Let us look. Let us look. Yes, these are the documents. Admirable, my friend. Your father was not lying when he said you were resourceful.
You were saying that these documents contain proof that could help me bring down Valar.
That is true. However, we must have my Meister transcribe them in order to get at their details.
How long will it take?
A few days, I think, allowing us ample time to ready for our departure. We're missing one piece to complete our plan.
Are you talking about the woman that Valar is tracking for the Queen?
Yes. My spy says that they now know where she's hiding, but I hope to find her before he does. I sent Sir Ethan and his best swords to find her. That should put an end to the schemes of the Queen and her dog.
Tell me what you know about her. How can she help us?
Jane Greystone is our enemy's main weakness, and the key to our plan. Targaryen blood runs through her veins. She's one of Eris's direct descendants.
She's the former king's daughter.